Hi guys, Brittany Young here. Today I'm going to talk to you about adaptive and assistive technology. Since adaptive and assistive technology are technically two different things, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about today is going to be assistive technology. Assistive technology is defined as any item, piece of equipment, or product system used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capacities of individuals with disabilities. Assistive technology is more of an umbrella term to cover many light, mid, or high-tech devices that help improve or make someone's life more independent and give them a sense of being normal and belonging here just like everyone else. Whereas adaptive technology is more specific on what devices you use, where they come from, their purpose, and there are set devices for set disabilities. Adaptive technology is any object or system that is specifically designed for the purpose of increasing or maintaining the capabilities of people with disabilities. Now with adaptive technology, this is technology that people that do not have disabilities would rarely use. These are adaptations to products that people without disabilities already use, and these adaptations make these products accessible for people with disabilities. One thing to think about with adaptive technology is for people with disabilities that are not able to drive regular vehicles like we are, such as shorter people or people whose arms and legs might be deformed or have a disability there. They're able to modify vehicles so that these people can drive and get back and forth just like we can. The same thing with computers, with screen readers and speech to text, those different things. When I think about the number of people in the United States that have disabilities, my mind is just blown. I know that myself, I know a few people, and some of my friends know people, and my kids know people, but I did not know the number of people was at such a staggering amount, and just thinking about all the help and aid that they need and receive is amazing. 1 in 5 Americans, which equals out to 53 million people, have a disability. 33 million of these people have a disability that makes daily life activities such as cooking, cleaning, getting dressed, going to the store, reading the mail, makes all of that kind of stuff hard for them. And usually these people require help for their daily care. 2.2 million people in the United States depend on a wheelchair to get around every day. And 6.5 million people in the United States use canes, walkers, or crutches, all because they have some disability of some sort that does not allow them to get around like normal people. Thinking about assistive and adaptive technology, it's important to know what type of people use these technologies and what type of disabilities that they have. There are two types of disabilities. There are hidden and visible disabilities. The visible disabilities are the ones that we can all pretty much pick out from looking at someone, especially if we know them, where the hidden disabilities are those that are not easily seen with the eyes. Visible disabilities include things such as cognitive disabilities, which are learning problems, not focusing, not retaining or holding information. Hearing disabilities such as hearing loss or hearing impairment. Physical disabilities such as limb loss, paralysis, limited fine or gross motor skills. Visual disabilities such as color blindness and low vision, and even mental illness such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorders, anxiety, and even eating disorders. I have a hidden disability. I have very bad eyesight. I have astigmatisms in both eyes. I have very low vision. I have high strength glasses and contacts, but you'd never know that if I didn't tell you or you see me putting them in or putting them on. So with these hidden disabilities, you have visual impairment such as myself. You have dexterity difficulties such as with limb loss or paralysis, epilepsy, diabetes, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell disease, HIV even. All of these are hidden disabilities that Unless you know the person, you would never know there was anything wrong with them. When we talk about assistive technologies, it's important to know what type of technologies this encompasses. Assistive technologies range from wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, prosthetic limbs, hearing aids, wheelchair ramps. You have adaptive switches for kids that allows them to take place in different games and computer activities. You have special kitchen and bathroom utilities that you can use to make living at home and being independent a little bit more easier. And you even have things such as automatic page turners for books. Talk about adaptive technologies, we're talking about things such as screen readers, braille keyboards, which are keyboards with plastic braille letters over the top of them. You have closed captioning for television. We have large print Bibles and books and word searches and puzzles. You have phones with keyboards that use text to speech so that people that can't talk can still hold conversations with other people. And we also have digital book readers. Remember that adaptive technology, all of these are enhancements to things that people with disabilities already use so that those people with those disabilities can feel normal. One important thing to think about when talking about assistive and adaptive technology is figuring out how they're used in the classroom. More than 6 million school-aged children, and these kids are from the ages of 3 to 17, currently receive special education services. That's because all of these children have some form of disability, whether it's cognitive or a physical, hard disability that makes it very difficult for them to learn in a regular setting. 55 to 64% of schools nationwide that have students with disabilities provide assistive or adaptive hardware, and 39 to 56% of those schools provide assistive or adaptive software. Now, in schools, these things that are considered assistive or adaptive hardware can vary. You have things such as personal reading machines that will actually scan the page of a book and read it to a child that cannot see well. You have talking calculators to help them with math. You have narrative tracks that, while you have closed captioning that's telling them what is being said on a movie or show, you actually have narrative tracks that can describe the action that is going on in the video. You have speech recognition that allows them to control their computers and what they text or type with their voices, which helps if they can't see as well. You have large print screen magnifications for screens and textbooks. You have listening devices that assist them in being able to hear the lesson and hear their teacher and actually follow along with their classmates. And one of the cool things that I found was that there are actually ways that teachers can create a computer-based assessment test, and there are adaptive technologies out there that allow these disabled children to take these tests with their classmates and allow their teachers to still be able to monitor their progress and see what they need help on. One thing that everyone does with technologies, even assistive and adaptive technologies, is wonder, how do they get paid for? How do the schools pay for them? How do people get them in their homes? How do the children get these devices that are such a critical part of their day-to-day life? Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, what we know as IDEA, eligible students are guaranteed a free, appropriate public education. This means that they are required to be able to have the same public school education as children that don't have disabilities. This act protects school-aged children until the age of 21 to make sure that they are accommodated in the classroom, same as their peers. This means that they don't have to have special treatment. They can be included and be just as part of a classroom as students that don't have the disabilities. Most of these students do receive special education in the class, and with that, their devices are usually free to allow them to do their work. The schools get these for free. But the stipulation is that the child's needs, their services to be rendered, and the assistive technology that they need must appear in their IEP. If it does not appear in the IEP, they are not allowed to get them through the school. Now, some children need these at home, some adults need these devices and this technology, and there are other ways to get them. You have health insurance companies that will pay for them. You can take out a loan. There are grants you can write to receive them. There are state and federal programs that help people receive these technologies. There are nonprofit organizations. Workman's comp will help if you get hurt on the job, as well as your employer. And even the Veterans Administration helps those that need these devices if you are a veteran. This last slide that I'm going to talk about is a prime example of how assistive technology can help change someone's life. This woman, Sharnae Johnson, she's from my home county. She's 26 years old now. About 3 or 4 years ago, she had a very bad car accident, as you can see, and she spent countless weeks and months in the hospital rehabilitating and getting ready to come back into the real world. The accident did take her leg from her, and it has not stopped her since. She has 4 beautiful children, one of which she had after her accident, which was a blessing in itself. She was in a wheelchair for a while, and then afterwards she got fitted, and she now has a prosthetic leg. And it has not stopped her. She still provides for her children. She's moved into a better home. She's left state. She is doing wonderful for herself and her children, and all because this prosthetic leg was available to her, and this assistive technology has just made it so that her life did not have to stop because of her car accident. So this goes to show that the assistive and adaptive technology that people with disabilities need do help them and do provide them a fully functional life.